The Tuttles are here?
Clear my schedule. So, why don't you tell me what happened?
The Tuttles are a famous family, most popular for manufacturing custom motorcycles in the reality television series American Chopper. The most notable people in the family are the family patriarch Paul Teutul Sr. and his sons Paul Jr. and Mikey Teutul. The series depicted the family manufacturing bikes in their company, Orange County Choppers, and in other Teutul family ventures. The series has been a fan favorite of motorcycle lovers in the US and worldwide since its premiere in 2003. Unfortunately, the relationship between the family members wasn't all good, eventually leading to a huge argument that caused a 10-year feud, which has since ended, and now fans want to know what's going on between the Teutul men. Read on to find out what caused the breakup and what the relationship between the Teutul's is after their 10-year feud. Paul John Teutul was born on the 1st of May 1949 in Yonkers, New York City, USA. Not much is known about his early years, family, or education background. However, he's said to have had a keen interest in motorbikes and their workings from a young age. He met, fell in love with, and married Paula in 1969, and the couple have 2 sons, Paul Jr. and Mikey, but in 1995, the pair decided to call it quits and divorced after 26 years of marriage. Years later, Paul Sr. married Beth Dillon, and the couple was blessed with 2 children, a son named Dan and daughter Kristen. Building on his childhood interests, Paul Sr. eventually founded his own company named Orange County Iron Works, followed years later by Orange County Choppers, a custom motorcycle manufacturing company. Shortly afterwards, the family were depicted in the reality TV show American Chopper, with their workshop being the main focus. Paul Sr. had other television credits as an actor in the films Wild Hogs and Algorithm Bliss. Later on, Paul Sr. faced money troubles and eventually filed for bankruptcy in February 2018 in New York, stating that he owed $1.8 million in assets and $1.1 million in liabilities. His debts were too big to pay off, and he couldn't liquidate all his assets. Paul Michael Teutul was born on the 2nd of October 1974 in New York to Paul Sr. and Paula Teutul. Growing up surrounded by motorcycle lovers, Paul Jr. eventually adopted a love for motorcycles too. Immediately after his matriculation from high school, a young Paul Jr. attended welding courses to learn the skill he would use for the rest of his life, and began working full-time at his father's first business, Orange County Iron Works. Despite being the owner's son, he wasn't given any special treatment and had to work his way up. He started with minor tasks such as cleaning the shop and assisting the other employees with errands, before being given a supervisory role as head of the rail shop. He also used his welding skills and now extensive knowledge to actively participate in the iron works. He subsequently joined his father as a business partner in Orange County Choppers as chief designer and fabricator. He rose to fame when he appeared in American Chopper alongside his father and younger brother, but the father-son relationship was still filled with daily arguments and disagreements, so much so that Paul Jr. terminated his employment in the show. He would then appear as a consultant and lend a helping hand, but only when his father was away. He went on to open his own company, Paul Jr. Designs, a move perceived by many as competition against his father. He hired former employees of his father's, such as Mikey, Vinny DiMartino, Robert Collard, and Joe Pugliafico, before appearing in the spin-off American Chopper Sr. vs. Jr., actually competing. He has since had a successful run with his company, making custom automotives for clients, including World of Warcraft games and the film Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Out of the Shadows. Michael Joseph Teutul was born on the 26th of November 1978 in New York, the younger child of Paul Sr. and Paula Teutul. Growing up, Mikey was often in the company of his father, brother, and other motorcycle builders in their family store. As a result, he gained a lifelong passion for motorcycles, specifically the iron works of it. At the age of 14, he began working part-time in the family Orange County Iron Works, doing minor tasks such as answering calls and taking out the trash. When they opened Orange County Choppers, he was promoted to the role of assistant general manager, but was still given only minor tasks, although once in a while he was allowed to help them manufacture the choppers, eventually building his own bike. he was a regular on American Chopper, often serving as a mediator between his father and elder brother during their frequent arguments. He often showcased his fun, lighthearted side and provided much-needed comic relief in the show. He accompanied his family to many promotional events, even appearing in talk shows including Late Show with David Letterman, The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, and Late Night with Conan O'Brien. However, Mikey had an addiction problem that hindered his work and the relationship with his family, leading him to be fired from the show. After some time, Mikey managed to work through his addiction and was allowed to resume working in the family business. He later appeared in the spin-off American Chopper Sr vs. Jr. Not long after the launch of Orange County Choppers, the family was approached by the producers of Pilgrim Films and Television to film a show about their lives as manufacturers of unique motorcycles. The premiere aired in March of 2003 on the Discovery Channel. It's home until 2007, followed by TLC from 2008 to 2010, eventually returning to the Discovery Channel from 2018 onwards. In its prime, it attracted more than 3 million viewers in the US and worldwide. Some of the most memorable bikes created on the show include World of Warcraft, Comanche and Black Widow bikes. However, it's not only the bikes that made the show famous. It was also the fight between Paul Sr. and Paul Jr. that occurred in many episodes. For some reason, the pair rarely saw eye to eye, often having radically different views. After a massive fight in 2008, the three Teutul's went their separate ways. A feud lasting for more than 10 years, there was barely any contact between the men. Read on to know the conditions surrounding their feud and what they got up to. What started as a show about a family building outrageous bikes together soon turned toxic for the actual family. Paul Sr. and Paul Jr. both showcased their short tempers, often losing patience with each other and resulting in near fistfights. It all reached a high in September 2018, when the pair had yet another explosive brawl. Paul Sr. immediately fired his son from the family business on camera, a shocking moment for fans worldwide. Similarly, Paul Sr. and his younger son Mikey didn't have a great relationship either. Mikey struggled to overcome an alcohol addiction that he battled for years. He checked himself into a rehabilitation center in December of 2009, leaving the show briefly, which strained the father-son relationship as well as affecting his duties in the family shop. Finally, the ongoing disputes between Paul Sr. and his son reached a high when Mikey was officially kicked out of the family business, the father revealing that his son had been given plenty of opportunities to succeed in the business, but Mikey was never serious enough to pursue them. Shortly after his forced exit from the show and business, Paul Jr. was served with a lawsuit by his father. Apparently, Paul Jr. forcefully bought back his 20% share in the company, and in return, his father sued him. The lengthy court battle ensued until Paul Jr. eventually sold his stake back to his father in 2011, effectively ending the lawsuit against him. Years later, the New York State Unified Court Systems website stated that the lawsuit of Teutul vs. Teutul had been disposed, indicating an out-of-court settlement. After serving a 1-year non-compete clause, as per his ended contract, Paul Jr. opened his own workshop named Paul Jr. Designs, PJD, in Montgomery, New York, less than 20 minutes from his previous job. The then 34-year-old realized the gravity of the decision to stop working for his father after 20 years together. 10 years at Orange County Ironworks and 10 years at Orange County Choppers. Primarily a design shop, he didn't concentrate totally on motorcycles as expected. He took his passion for design and applied it into other places with the hope of reaching more people with good quality, affordable, and accessible products. Coleman, his first client, needed customizing of their renowned portable road trip grill. He promised that the new camp stove would be cool and functional, and you can cook on it. I'm customizing this grill just the way I would a chopper, and the beauty is that it's under $200. Eventually, a 2-hour-long special episode of American Chopper focused on the family reunion after their long feud. The trio went back to where it all started, the first Orange County Choppers building in Newburgh, New York, before it was demolished. In an interview with The Post, Paul Jr. revealed that he had been pushing for a reunion for a long while, but his father wasn't interested. He said, "It's been over 10 years, and I just thought I would like to build a bike with my father again, if we could." Finally, his wish was granted, and fans of the family were given a pleasant surprise. Although they didn't really see eye to eye on the bike build and design, the pair tried to remain respectful towards each other and not argue too much. Luckily, both men swallowed their pride and focused on building the bike without getting sidetracked. In the end, it all worked out. Among the reminiscence, they built a custom bike together for ABC Supply Company. A new spin-off entitled American Chopper Sr vs. Jr. was created, in which each man's company goes head-to-head in designing and producing custom motorcycles. It includes Paul Sr., Paul Jr., Mikey, and many of the original cast as well. Concerning the father-son relationship, it's known that they speak occasionally and also text. Since the father is now living in Florida, they don't see much of each other. Paul Jr. revealed, "I'd be lying if I said we were best friends. It just hasn't worked out that way. And it's not what I prefer, but we're not dealing with a perfect scenario." So what are they all up to now? Paul Jr. has a hugely successful design business, thriving year after year. He dedicated his time solely to growing his business by utilizing his creativity as never before. Thanks to his efforts, he works for high-profile clients and has had countless collaborations with famous brands. His success was so huge that he expanded to other ventures, including motorcycle accessories and even his own clothing line. In 2010, he married longtime girlfriend, actress, and model Rachel Beister in a lavish ceremony on Bonet Island estate. The couple appeared on TLC's Say Yes to the Dress, while their cake was made by TLC's Cake Boss. Despite being invited to the wedding, Paul Sr. didn't attend. In 2015, the couple was blessed with their firstborn son, Hudson 7 Teutul, opening up a whole new perspective for Paul Jr. He said, "When you become a father, it makes a difference in the way you see your own father. It changed my viewpoint towards Senior in some degree. It would be hard not to. You can do forgiveness on your own, but the thing with reconciliation is that it takes two." He released a book entitled The Build, Designing My Life of Choppers, Family, and Faith, in which he talks about his life, family relationships, his works, and his faith. Most recently, he's hosting a podcast in which he talks about various topics, such as preventing veteran suicides. He occasionally appears on American Chopper, now as his own boss. As for Paul Sr., he shifted his company from New York to Florida. In an interview with WFLA News Channel 8, he said, "Where I'm at in my life, it's time for a change. And you feel the freedom in Florida. You don't feel it so much in New York anymore." His son Daniel is now the owner and general manager of Orange County Ironworks LLC, while his only daughter, Kristen, is a nurse in Rochester, New York. Last but not least, Mikey is the founder of FarQ LLC, a company that primarily deals with gourmet pasta sauces. In 2011, he opened an art gallery called Mikey Teutul's Wolfgang Gallery, but had to close it in 2013 because of declining sales. The main source of the Teutul family income and net worth comes from their time in the hit series American Choppers and the family stores. However, since going their own ways, each member has widened their ventures to increase their incomes. Paul Sr. is reputedly now worth $500,000, owing to his many debts, while Mikey's net worth is over $2 million, and Paul Jr.'s is an impressive $10 million. Luckily for fans of the Teutuls, the family maintains an online presence on sites such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The family patriarch has a large following of 335,000 on Instagram, almost 60,000 on Twitter, and over 450,000 on Facebook. Similarly, Paul Jr. has a following of 225,000 on Instagram, 155,000 on Twitter, and 1.4 million on Facebook, while Mikey has 380,000 on Facebook, 45,000 on Instagram, and 15,000 on Twitter. More than a decade after their feud, it's a relief that the Teutul men are on good enough terms with each other. Despite going their own ways, each one has risen to the challenge and eventually been largely successful in their independent ventures. We wish them all the best and hope that they'll keep us all entertained, somehow, with their efforts in the future.
And the gun.
Hold on,
Where's
hold on.
the trigger?
Don't hit it yet. You get one shot.
Okay.
You get to choose who you're gonna shoot.
This ain't gonna hurt you, is it?
Well, yeah. That's a
Turn
lethal.
around! Turn around!
You got us both.
Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos, which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.